Good morning, Kentuckiana. Thank you for waking up with us on this Saturday morning. I'm Gabriel Gonzalez. Community members gathered in Joe Creason Park Friday to celebrate the cancellation of a proposed multi-million-dollar pickleball facility that was set to be built on park property. Mayor Craig Greenberg announced he was halting the complex's development after Louisvillians spoke out against the noise concerns and green space loss. WHAS11's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Emma Gefter explain the rare victory for people preserving nature.
We're thrilled that the mayor listened to the community.
An open space of Joe Creason Park, full of kids playing, dogs walking, and picnics. They call it Victory for the Park.
I think the community has spoken. We care about our public parks. We care about free access to public space.
Everyone is continuing to enjoy and appreciate this land that they've worked so hard for, an open green space that's public that was threatened to be developed.
The voices against it were loud. The developers say this plan has been in the works since 2023 to build a $65 million tennis and pickleball complex. Its biggest supporter, even on Tuesday, Mayor Craig Greenberg.
This would be a huge boost for our tourism economy.
But then the about face. Here on Friday, Greenberg pulling the plug, admitting he was stunned over the size of the protests.
There were more people that showed up than I thought, and there were more opinions on this, and there were louder opinions.
Developer Will Davis disappointed the mayor changed his mind.
This is a project by Louisvillians, for Louisvillians. It was something that was going to be an economic driver and help with all different special needs groups in Louisville. So we think that it's a wonderful project.
But in Joe Creason Park,
part of the reason why we settled in this area is because of this park.
I have a 5-year-old who loves the park, so it's just a wonderful place for families.
Residents believe the development is better elsewhere.
It's already congested from 4 to 6 p.m. I'd say Newburgh Road and Trevilian are both very, very crowded.
And it's not a case of NIMBYism like we've been called by a lot of people, but it's a case of this being a public park.
The rare victory to preserve nature in the city, as the popular sport of pickleball will now grow somewhere else. At Joe Creason Park, Clarice Shaley, WHAS 11 on your side.
And Metro Council member Anthony Piagentini joined the side of the developer, telling us in part some areas of the city are truly anti-development, and it's unfortunate the mayor gave in. Piagentini said he welcomes this development in the East End. All right, let's get you your forecast now. With Reed on the road, you'll never know where he'll pop up. And this morning, Reed and John are in LaGrange. Reed, good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning, Gabe. We are on the road indeed. Thank you, Thorntons, for being along for the ride here. We are on the road in LaGrange. And what are we doing in LaGrange? Let's ask Bob Hamilton.
The 175th anniversary of trains coming to and through LaGrange.
Okay, it's called Rail Fest, but it involves not only this beautiful train station here that's now a museum and learning center, but it involves the whole city.
The entire city is involved in this from one end to the other.
It's kicking off right about now, goes till 9 o'clock tonight. Having said that, a lot of folks are just rolling out of bed. Let's get you up to date on here. We have a really busy events calendar. Really busy events calendar, as you can imagine. It's Mother's Day weekend, 75 today, 80 tomorrow. And by the way, at noon today, sponsored by the Hammer, our good friend, the attorney, is a dog and puppy adopt-a-thon at the Expo Center, going to Gate 1, free parking, and they're there till 3 o'clock today. So go get a new friend for the family on Mother's Day weekend. This train station that is now a museum, I've got to tell you, we got it in for the first time this morning. It is an attraction.
Thank you very much.
You guys
yes,
have done
it
a great
is.
job.
Thank you.
John, pan around there and show us. This is the original station. It is not in the original
This
location.
is the second one.
It's
yeah,
true.
That's
This
right.
one was built in when?
In 1914.
1914. The two train cars you saw behind us here.
Well, the first one is a steam engine from England, with one of the only ones in America.
Right.
The dining car behind it is the real deal. It operated on these very tracks that it sits 25 feet from for 40 years.
Right, and then you're going to go into we got a caboose back there, an L&N caboose.
The L&N caboose, it operated everywhere. It was made in the South Louisville shops.
We're going to take you inside those coming up here. We'll be in the caboose in about 15 minutes from right now, but head to LaGrange today. Yes, they've got merch out here, both at the museum and at the festival. We'll show you some merch, but we'll take you inside that caboose, show you what it looks like, because a lot of people don't know what a caboose is.
Exactly. They went away in the 1980s.
Too bad, too bad. They are a relic. Okay, Gabe, you bring us up to date what's going on, and we're going to shift to the caboose, and we'll see you in about 15 minutes from right now.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Reed. A southern Indiana man was arrested after he reportedly attacked hospital staff, then destroyed the nurses' station at U of L Jewish Hospital. LMPD says a staff member noticed Vincent Armstrong was standing up at the end of his bed. The IRS citation said when she went to check on him, Armstrong, quote, pushed her and scratched her, leaving visible marks. He then went to a nurse's station and knocked down every computer, an enraged outburst. We've seen something like this happen 4 times this year. U of L Hospital Chief Medical Officer held a press conference on Friday addressing the violence.
We have had to deal with these problems for decades, probably since the inception of University Hospital, for example. And so from that fact, we've tried to increase our overall presence, reduce the number of entryways into the hospital system, and re-educate patients and families around acceptable behavior and mitigate that when at all possible.
Armstrong is expected back in court on June 6th. And our focus team has been digging into similar assaults against hospital staff in the Louisville area. We've talked with nurses about their experiences. To see the full list of investigations, head to our website, WHAS11.com, and click on Focus. The family of a missing woman who's now been confirmed dead claims they were ignored by investigators. Police say a missing persons report for Latasha White was filed by May 1st, but her family says they had warned Metro Police about her disappearance days before. Late Friday, Metro Police said the information they received did not meet the criteria for a public alert, but White's family said after they noticed White never showed up at work, her personal belongings were still at home, and her security cameras were torn out. Her siblings say it took days for police to take their concerns seriously and begin investigating.
I just feel like LMPD felt my sister. They felt my sister. They failed her.
So if you act faster, maybe we could have got to it sooner than what it is.
LMPD tells us they found no indication of a struggle at White's home and that White tore the security cameras out herself. Police also say her family did not provide any information that was indicated that she was in imminent danger, which would have elevated the alert status. LMPD says they are now focused on finding her killer. If you have any information, you're encouraged to call the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD. 2 Indiana men are under arrest for allegedly killing a man, then starting a house fire to cover up the crime. 26-year-old Edward Powers and 23-year-old David Woosley Jr. are charged in the death of 51-year-old David Woosley Sr. Woosley Sr.'s body was found in the wreckage of a house fire in Elizabeth, Indiana, but the coroner determined he was dead from a shooting before the fire. David Woosley Jr.'s neighbors told police he did not come home that night until after 2 o'clock in the morning, and both Powers and Woosley's guns were found hidden. Flock cameras show Powers' car heading toward the fire that night.
This was a planned attack. Mr. Woosley, alone in his bedroom and likely caught by surprise, stood no chance of defending himself. The attackers carefully removed all spent shell casings from the scene. In an attempt to destroy evidence of Mr. Woosley's murder, the house was set on fire and left to burn.
The 2 men were charged with murder, arson, and lying to officers.